Topic Level 1. Water. Small water cycles can be repaired locally. When regions and nations work together, water cycles can be enabled from the sea to the interior of continents. They increase average precipitation and groundwater recharge. This quote from the film Water is Love inspired the game designer, and he would like to share it. When we learn to move water in the right way, every living being, not only human beings, will have access to its basic needs. In addition to humans, this also applies to all other living beings that need an environment that promotes life. It should be emphasized once again that this is not only about the landscape, but also about the interior. The level process from the game description for the levels is led by the bird. Firstly, we read the situation card for the level. Secondly, we divide the cards evenly among ourselves for each level. If we have fewer cards than players, we take several cards. Thirdly, we read the selected card carefully. Fourthly, we work together. We present one card after another in full, text and illustrations, while the others listen attentively. Fifthly, social democratic voting. As a group, we find causal connections for the cards of each level. Everyone is asked for their decision. The solution that does not provoke any objection or resistance from any of us is accepted. In the event of resistance, a reasoned counter-proposal should be presented in relation to the goal. The counter-proposal is included in the decision-making process. Sixth, once we have all agreed on the arrangement of the cards, we turn over the situation card and read the solution. Seventh, we solve the character quests if possible. Eighth, use the reflection card on the level. What do we recognize? Ninth, we can start the next level. 10th, the next level is connected to the previous level to create the cause and effect network step by step. Situational card. After arriving in the desert landscape in level 0, we say, "Things cannot go on like this. How can we free ourselves from this situation?" We find a treasure chest containing the last seeds in the world. We discover secret techniques for greening the planet. We are committed to a world in which every living being has access to clean water, healthy food, and an environment worth living in. We take on the task of creating a future worth living with existing solutions and natural processes. If not us, then who? Psst, nature will help us if we support it. We link the first card from level 1 with card 98 from level 0. We turn the situation card after the level to resolve level 1. Level 1 focuses on the water cycle. There are various cards to accompany this topic. Card number 1, Regenerative Activities. Card number 19, Multifunctional Agroforestry. Card number 31, More Water Exchange. Card number 8, Small Water Cycle. Card number 2, Flying Rivers. Card number 32, Higher Groundwater Level. Card number 13, Free Roaming Goats, as a possible trap so that people pay close attention to which cards are linked together and which are not. Idea. Some cards contain terms for reference. These terms can be used by learners in educational settings to prepare presentations and introduce them in class. Card number 13, Free Roaming Goats, as a possible trap so that people pay close attention to which cards are linked together and which are not. Idea. Some cards contain terms for reference. These terms can be used by learners in educational settings to prepare presentations and introduce them in class. In response to desertification, card number 98, from level 0, Regenerative activities are now being used, card number 1. This retains water in the soil that falls during rare rainstorms, and seeds are planted in the soil. We recall the solution card from level 0. Rainfall is now rare. Regular rain must first be restored. This can lead to the creation of multifunctional agroforestry systems, card number 19. Multi means many and functional means that it has functions. Agroforestry is a combination of agriculture and forestry. This means that taller plants are used on agricultural land, and edible plants can also be planted in forests. In addition to trees, these can also include bushes, shrubs, climbing plants, herbs, and ground cover plants. The function of food production is combined with the function of timber production, the recreational function, and the many other functions that forests offer, thus creating perspectives that would otherwise not exist. These agroforestry systems therefore offer many functions, some of which are further illustrated in the game. On the one hand, the surface area is greatly increased by planting on different levels on top of each other. This can be compared to a sandwich, where all the ingredients are layered on top of each other. This allows more photosynthesis, the conversion of sunlight, CO2, and water into biomass to take place on the same area than if the plants were planted next to each other, as in a mosaic. Animals can also find their place in agroforestry systems. More on this later. The surface can enable more water exchange, map number 31, with the environment. There is more leaf mass and thus more evaporation and condensation. This creates local microclimates. Cool surfaces help to reach the dew point. This allows water vapor to condense and raindrops to form. This cooling effect, which cools down landscapes and cities, gives the game its name. Tip: if you want to demonstrate this effect to the group, bring a bottle from the refrigerator with you. This cool bottle will collect condensation on the outside if there is humidity in the air. The cooling of cities is made possible by changing the landscapes around them. Urban planning processes often take a long time. Cool City inspires a solution that is designed to be out of the city. What we need are solutions that are holistic and extend beyond the city limits. We don't just need small green dots in landscapes, green cities in desert-like landscapes. These small green dots could eventually run out of water because they don't get enough. Glaciers are melting, water from them is becoming scarcer, and the water content in land areas is unfortunately decreasing. This dynamic must be reversed. These hot landscapes could also be called ovens. We need to rethink entire landscapes in international cooperation so that we can maintain and build long-term prospects. We have to turn the oven into a refrigerator. Many small water cycles reinforce each other and can together change the macroclimate. The climate at the landscape level changes and enables flying rivers, card number 2, the large water cycle. They bring rain to the interior of the country. More rain, which is slowed down on the ground, leads to rising groundwater levels, card number 32. Goats, card number 13, are not bad in themselves. Their droppings can have a fertilizing effect. At the same time, we must not forget that there used to be many more natural enemies. This allowed a natural balance to be established. Now these natural enemies are missing. If goats are now able to reproduce unchecked, the pressure on ecosystems will eventually become so high that they collapse. That is why human management is necessary. One method is holistic management. This involves fencing in animals and only allowing them to roam in a specific area. However, If an ecosystem has been grazed bare down to the last leaf, we should look into whether the animals can be fed in other ways, for example through aid deliveries. Discuss quests. On card 13, free-range goats, we find a quest from the herder. What happens to the ecosystem and everything that depends on it when goats are allowed to clear landscapes? The answer could be, when the landscapes are left without vegetation, all the effects that a healthy forest has on a landscape and the creatures living in it are destroyed. That is why it is important that goats are kept better and that shepherds are supported in their efforts. Goats are a status symbol in some cultures and probably cannot simply be abolished. Perhaps forests could be planted and fenced in. Cut branches from these forests could then also be used to feed the goats. Card 31, More Water Exchange, is described with a quest for the cool human. How does the situation change? The cool person previously lived in a hot environment. The change in landscape has also cooled down the city. The cool person now feels more comfortable. At the same time, they do not want to live on the street. Perhaps the planting activities could create jobs that provide people with an income and thus a roof over their heads. Card 32, Higher Groundwater Level, contains a quest from the water human. How is your situation changing? The higher groundwater level is causing springs to reappear locally, from which water can be drawn. Life is becoming easier for the waterman. This concludes Level 1. Reflection follows.